This is a second video. Okay, I'm inside my little room. And since that this video is about cars, it's not really about a very old beagle, right? She's just very tired, she's very old, but I'm also show you my dog. I'm not trying to get any fan. Starbucks is here, TV is here. It's about 12:15 Taiwan local time. I'm gonna get my key. We're gonna go down. I'm gonna start my M3, and because it's under the basement, okay, I will also show you what a healthy sound of M3 engine should sound like. So basically, if you get any weird noise, your roll bearing's gone. You don't need Blackstone. You don't need Johnny Lau. You don't need to do this preventive measure crap. Let me come downstairs to show you. So this is a key. Let me get my key. We're gonna go downstairs. Stick the key on. I'm really bad at doing this camera thing, guys, because I'm sorry. I am had a busy day today. I got nothing to do, but I just been watching all this video about roll bearings issue, and this is the first YouTube video I ever made. Let me come down. So I'm going to lock the door. So no one gets into my joint. So we're going to the lift. We'll just wait for the lift. You know, I thought that because this is about car video, and I might also show you what a Taiwanese building looks like. The lift is very slow. Some guy's holding up the lift. Well, because we're waiting for the lift, oh, lift is coming. So we're gonna go to basement number 2, and so basically, I'm a kind of a no-frill guy. I don't want to do a very nice video because I don't care about if my YouTube gets hit or not hit. I just want to give people, you know, different sort of feelings. Okay, so this is all people that's currently not paying the body corp, and that's not related. Now let me show you my 986 Boxster. This Boxster has been running the cheapest castor edge. Okay, the cheapest castor edge you can get on Amazon for like $8.95, but it's Porsche 840 certified oil. Now the reason why I run the cheapest oil is because when the car is 20 years old, there are no point to putting the latest formula engine oil. The engine runs not as smooth because the older engine actually requires the formula that was based on its production era. So this is my 986 Boxster here. It's not related to the M3 story, but the 986 Boxster also has a famous problem that was very similar to M3. The problem is known as IMS bearing failure. I think in America you guys call it intermittent bearing failure, anyway, reply to me, my English is no good. And I got the typical Asian number plate, 8888 means rich, because I'm not very rich after all if I'm not using $8 engine oil. Now, one of the secrets that this car have lasted this long was because I kept the engine oil level at the highest. One thing that you guys also have to remember, the engine oil should always stay at the H, the highest level. Some young kids always want to have an engine oil in the middle because when it's in the middle, the car actually gives you more power, but that's true. But when you go on a mountain driving, you have your rev at 3,000 RPM for 2 hours, the oil should be at the highest level because as the car corners through in the corner, as the car go fast into the corner, it loses the oil pressure. The gravity pulls the oil to one side. So having that H really also allows the during the engine startup, it allows the oil to flow faster into the rod bearing. And in the case of Porsche Boxster, it flows faster in the IMS bearing, okay? So I want to show you my cheap oil. Okay, this is the cheapest oil I use, E95 oil, and let me start this engine. Now the car is very, get out my way, mosquito. Okay, it's hitting about, now I haven't started for a week, it's 217,100 kilometer, Boxster 986. Okay, now there is some problem, is that I need to change the spark plugs, but if you watch this, okay, there is a bit of a smoke coming out, but if you give it about 3 minutes, everything will run smooth. Okay, so this car, based on the cheapest oil, I still managed to get 1,000 kilometers out of it, okay? I had a very bad start. There's a bit of a back pressure build up, so I just go one step, and if I start it again, it will sound beautiful. Now listen how beautiful this sounds. No problem. 217,000 kilometers without any intermittent bearing change. Now don't overanalyze it, because when the engine is this old, on a horizontal 6, sometimes there's a bit of a back pressure build up if you don't drive it for about 2 weeks or 10 days or something. This is perfectly normal. This is running on the E95 engine oil. A lot of mountain driving, okay? If my video gets good hit, I'll upload those videos. If it doesn't get good hit, if I got nothing to do, I'll upload the video. I'm a very busy man, okay? So it's running on the cheapest oil, and the kilometer it did is 217,000 kilometers, okay? And I always make sure the engine oil level is on the highest. I didn't change the clock. This is real 270,000, because look at the hole. I got a hole on the chair because the usage is very high. The leather seat looks like a crab, okay? But this is my Boxster, and I'm going to shut her down. Let's go to our M3. So I'm going to lock the door. Okay. So we're going to go downstairs. Let me turn the camera around. So we're going to turn the camera around. We're going to go downstairs. Make sure the doors are locked. Actually, I don't care. I'm just going to walk down. Oh, sorry, my car is that way. So that's my 986 Boxster. I actually really prefer this car. It's super slow, but it is one of the most exciting car. You know, I put a good set of Michelin Pilot Sport. The handling is still fantastic on this car. Nothing goes wrong. So this is a Taiwanese underbasement car park, and it's about 12:15, and there are some nice cars around here. This is not a very good area in my country, to be honest. Most of these people are loan sharks that lives in the same building. So I talk very loud, and if some people start to swear at me, you know, don't be surprised. Now this is my neighbor's M3. He doesn't really want to listen to my theory. He uses a 5W30 oil because he's a younger guy. But I'm with 1060 all the way, okay? Now here's my YM3 here, okay? Now, no cheating, okay? It's nice and cold. I'm just gonna start her up. I'm gonna show you a normal engine oil noise. The normal engine noise. So, original wheel, I chuck away the modified exhaust, okay? I still prefer the stock exhaust because I believe that the back pressure is a lot more better stock exhaust. Now, this is the cheap oil. You can get in America, $8 or something. 5W40, I use it for my Boxster because it's a 20 years old car. You don't need anything expensive for it. It has a, let me see. It has a Porsche A40, okay? This Porsche A40 certificate was what the 986, the 996 era used. The 229.3 Mercedes approval was for the W204 Mercedes series, W203, and perhaps W202, which was still viable. Okay, let's start my M3 up. Open the door. Okay, so what I usually do in the morning, okay, is I get into the car, and then this is what I do. I start the engine. Okay, this is currently on the 10W60. The engine just started. I'm gonna walk down and I'm gonna put my telephone right? I'm gonna put my telephone against where the roll bearing position on the wheel. Now you're not gonna hear any hoo 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 shoo 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 boo 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 boo. If you hear this kind of noise, hoo 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 shoo 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 boo 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 boo, that means your roll bearing is doomed. Okay. Now let's show you the noise. Okay. Now this initial warm up right now, this initial pulse of RPM is what Castro Edge sludge is doing. The sludge is protecting the BMW's roll bearings very tight tolerance. Now listen to it. You hear that? Ka ka ka. It's very healthy. It doesn't have any. Now I'm gonna keep talking for 3 minutes, and then we'll go start out driving. I'll show you how I drive it to warm her up. Okay. Now we'll get back to a car. It sounds very, very normal. It sounds absolutely beautiful. Now, the stock exhaust actually allows you to have a better back pressure, so this engine doesn't get its ass kicked by 335 during the low RPM run. The stock exhaust back pressure also allows this engine to warm up quicker, okay? So if you want to rise up your M3, you're gonna know what you're doing, and challenge me on my reply, and I will actually challenge you. I'll bring my mechanic gains to the next video if this video gets some hit. Now, if this video gets only 2 people looking at it, 3 people looking at it, I'm just gonna leave it on there. I can't be bothered to do this YouTube thing because it's a waste of life. Let me get on the car. So basically, the next topic I want to talk about during the warm-up, so it's now 12:28. I'm gonna give it about 2 minutes warm-up. The next thing that I want to talk about that a lot of people talk about is actuator. Oh, my actuator is going to fail. My actuator is going to fail. Now, there are gears inside of the actuator, which on eBay you can buy the metal version. Now, don't waste your time on it, okay? Because basically, if you're going to pay the labor in America or all this expensive Western world, by the time you get the actuator out, there is nothing guarantee you that the circuit board won't fail. Okay, so actuator is sort of a product, is sort of a component that I believe that on the long run, you should just, when it fails, you should just buy a new one. And just buy a new one, because there's no point to take off the engine cover and pay all this labor and then have to only change the metal gear, then the PCB fail. There's no point to rebuild the actuator, in my opinion. Now, there's one thing how you can prevent the actuator from failing, to extend your actuator's life, is that only select the M mode, okay? Only select the M mode when the car is idling. Always only select the power button and the EDC button when the engine is idling, okay? Because it will give less stress on the actuator. Sometimes people will press the power button when they thrash it, but decide the program, which program you want to be in while the car is in a station situation, okay? So we have 1 more minute to go, okay? I never moved this car. Only after 3 minutes, because right now, because I'm running the disadvantage of 10W60, if I move it right now, the roll bearing is extremely cold. It will get robbed. You will get scratched. Now the 3 minutes is a lot of time. I know you guys don't have 3 minutes to wait, but this 3 minutes is very crucial. Unfortunately, in 2008, when they built a naturally aspirated S65 engine without any turbo, you're gonna get some design flaws. So basically, this car is no different to those GC8 WRX that was heavily modified to 400 horsepower with forged piston and all that hoo-ha. People used to put 10W60 on those 400 horsepower manual. I was used to be into this kind of cars. The concept of it was that the mechanical components, despite being very strong, you need a thicker oil because the film strengths of the engine oil, only 1060 can take up the high end. This is why Aston Martin, Bugatti, and all these expensive Bugatti Veyron and all these cars, they use 10W60. Okay, so all the cars really come with a factory recommended 10W60. You should warm it up for 3 minutes before driving. So right now it's about 3 minutes. We're ready to go. Now you can see that the temperature is still no good. Okay, you can't rev beyond 6,700. Now, I only drive about 1500 RPM, because this is what I call BMW engineers marketing, because it was the ultimate machine back in 2008. They always say that this car's ultimate, but it's not very ultimate if the roll bearings are failing. Okay, so really I only thrash it when this needle gets about 100. Okay, so when I start driving now, of course I'm going to turn off the power button because the engine is very cold. The EDC, I'll keep it on the softest softest setting, and then it's in the P. Okay, now the air conditioning is not on, the air is not on, because I'm driving this based on the 90s heavy modified cars concept. Okay, let me turn off the M button. Okay, everything's all good, we're ready to go. 3 minutes is up, so let's put the handbrake down. We put it in the drive mode. Okay, no, we don't want the grid 3 on the MDCT, it's not good, so we switch one more. Okay, this is good, D and only one grid, no power. Okay, and we're just going to drive gently. I'm going to put this under a rev meter so you know how I'm driving, and I'm going to keep talking to you guys while I'm driving, maybe, I hope.